Hello, welcome. Welcome to this webinar. We're going to talk about how to get 8 times speed in your development process with AI for the next hour. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me introduce yourself first. And again, thank you for joining this session. I'm Ray Carneiro. I'm Director of Engineering and Solutions Architecture at QAT Global. And as I said, I will be here for the next hour to show you some great news, some exciting things that we are doing at QAT Global. Well, today I want to talk about how AI is changing the software, the way that software is built, not just helping people code faster, but really changing the entire model. Many companies, they are still using AI just as a tool, but very few are using AI as an execution engine. So this presentation shows a practical path to move from basic AI usage to a model where AI helps teams deliver fast, more consistently, and at a lower cost without replacing or rebuilding everything from scratch. So I want to introduce to you today QAT's Diamond AI solution. It is an enterprise AI service designed to accelerate delivery, governance, and generate measurable business outcomes with clear return on investment. This this methodology, this service, we support both greenfield and brownfield projects, where greenfield projects allow us to design AI native architectures from the ground up, optimizing speed, automation, scalability from day one. But we also support brownfield projects, and that really require deeper context analysis, legacy assessment, and very specific product review. We pretty much align with stakeholders, we clarify requirements, and document all the basic knowledge before execution. So once this knowledge is consolidated, AI fully leverage the way it can accelerate delivery and improve decision quality. I'm just going through very high level here, but we have three pillars in in this Diamond AI solution. The first one is the AI strategy, governance, and ROI planning. Okay, we define high impact user case, measurable KPIs, governance, and we have a clear roadmap for AI adoption within the company. The second one is this is the one we're going to talk today. This is the AI accelerated software delivery. We integrate AI across the full product development lifecycle from requirements and architecture to coding, testing, and documentation. And that all happens while keeping humans accountable and in control. This is a 100% human accountable control process workflow. This is not just a autonomous AI process. And there are a lot of results that we are seeing with some customers: faster development life cycles, reduced work, strong governance, and recently we have achieved up to 8, 10 times faster delivery using AI supported workflows. And the last pillar is the custom agentic platform that is somehow embedded in a business workflow. So we build a secure enterprise grade AI platform that is tailored to your operation using Microsoft Foundry platform. So those AI agents that we create, they are integrated directly into your system, your database, your workflows to enhance decision making and operational efficiency. So this is not a generic tool or a black box SaaS product. We run inside your enterprise AI capabilities, and we also design around your business strategies. If you want to have more details about it, please, this is my email. Let me just go back here quickly. This is my email. You can be in contact with me. Let's talk about it. It's going to be a great pleasure to talk to you. Moving forward, I want to demonstrate, as I said, this pillar that we have, that is the AI accelerated software development process. And before going deeper, I want to explain to you that we have some pillars of maturity, some AI maturity levels. We call them level one, level two, and level three. Level one is pretty much assisted AI, basic tooling that only help developers to write code faster. But developers, they are still manually doing code. Okay. Level two is what we call driven, AI acceleration. Okay. That's the second delivery model where AI actually executes all the work based on clear instructions. And the third one is AI native products, where AI becomes part of the product itself. So each level here is going to increase impact, but also complexity. And just to give you an example here on the level one, we have seen something around 1 to 2 time acceleration. And that is because developers are using tools like GitHub Copilot. And those tools, they only help developer write code faster. Okay, but that doesn't mean that that this approach is reading all your code base, all your documentation, all your business requirements, all your functional requirements. So that's why in this model, this level one, it has a lot of limitations. But when you go to level two, and let me show you some real example here again. When you go to level two, the role of AI changes. So instead of suggesting small pieces of code, AI receives clear instructions and it's going to build complete solutions. People explain what needs to be done. So the role of the developer, the software engineer now has changed because now developers, they are playing like an orchestrator role, okay? They are still in charge of the code being generated, but AI is doing 100% of the code generation. And for that to happen, you need a human to be explaining what's need to be done. That's what we call prompt engineering. Okay, so this science is all about AI understanding natural language and translating natural language to commands and to some actions that AI can execute. So here in level two, in this AI accelerated development, people explain what needs to be done, as I said, the requirement, the rules, the expectations, and these AI agents will generate all the implementation. And this Diamond AI acceleration workflow that we built, we have a lot of agents that are responsible for gathering requirements, creating architecture, creating functional requirements, doing deployment, testing, security, so in this level, again, AI does most of the execution. Then what we are doing right now is our developers, our teams that are starting with this AI approach, they are focusing on decisions, priorities, and quality. Okay. And as I said, AI is just executing and executing. So engineers are becoming architects and reviewers instead of manual builders. This is where teams are constantly seeing 5 to 10 times improvements in delivery speed for development work. Level three is the highest level here. So it's go even further. Here, AI is the product itself. This is a product making decisions, learning from users, and adapting over time. So it's running in production, learning in production, changing in production, okay, with little or limited human interaction over there. This can be very powerful, but it also required a lot of specialized talents, infrastructure, and higher investment. So usually this is not the first step for most organizations. Okay, level one and level two are the usually the first steps that you can start with and have a lot of benefits. Well, this slide here will help you to identify where your team is today. Okay, if your team is still doing mostly manual process, there is little or no AI at all, right? And that takes time, that takes planning, that takes human interaction, writing requirements in some backlog platform or something, having those um, daily meetings with the team, reviewing, etc. So it's not a good approach anymore because we know that sometimes the knowledge transfer, even between the team, the business team to the engineering team, can be something difficult. All the information that you need sometimes is not aligned. Business people sometimes have that information somewhere. They will eventually share with the engineering team, and that makes things slower, right? If AI only suggests these small improvements, that's level one. That's where your team is today. Okay. Um, if the teams are describing work clearly and AI build it, that's level two. And if AI run inside the product, that's level three. So my question would be, where is your team today? Are you on level one, level two, level three? No AI, And also AI by itself cannot do anything alone. If you don't have a process, if you don't have a methodology, you are going to spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, but by the end of the day, you're going to have no results. You really need a methodology, and this is what we are doing here. This is what we are delivering to some customers, and we are seeing great results. Basically, what we do is this is a high level overview about what we call product development life cycle, and it's connected to the software development life cycle. When you talk about software development life cycle alone, you are just talking about engineering process, CI/CD, DevOps, infrastructure, etc., etc. But we need to connect. Things need to be connected now. Okay, we need to have a product definition, a product development life cycle that will connect the software engineering practices, um, and put it all together. And we have done that in four high level phases. We start with business on the left side here. We start with the business where we focus on discovering, defining the roadmap, clarifying strategy, priorities, etc. We have agents for doing that. We have workflows for doing that. Then once we define everything that needs to be done, then we move into the product phase. That's where we define what we're going to build, what are the validation, the value proposition, and everything that needs to be done within the product life cycle, not only the software engineer life cycle. Then we move to design, which also includes prototyping, user testing. We ensure usability and alignment before doing development. And finally, that is the last part of the phase. That's the last phase. That's where we enter with technology. So we have agents, we have the workflow to get to coding, infrastructure, and deployment. Okay. It is a well, in a very short, it's a structured workflow strategy to execution. Because as I said before, if you're using AI, but you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a workflow, if you don't know exactly how to create mood agents and how to make those agents communicate with themselves, so you're just spending money and time with AI and having no results. Okay. What we're doing here, we are ensuring alignment from business intent to technical delivery. And what really changes in the day by day activities is that all the project is within this code base. So all the documentation is generated by business analysts, by project managers. Those documentations, they remain in the source code. So everybody at that moment knows exactly what to do because the product definition, the product strategy, it's all documented. And right now, a lot of projects that we help sometimes, especially brownfields that are softwares that are already running in production, we struggle to find some good documentation. If you need to onboard a new developer, that's going to take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe, right? So that person, that professional can be working using AI and this strategy can be working within 2 to 3 days because you have all the documentation in the new process. That's all versioned, so that onboarding process is even faster. Okay, so this is the Diamond AI workflow for software development process and also for a product development lifecycle overview. And but again, I'm talking about AI, how to do things, the process we are doing, but what about metrics? How about real business impact? And this is what we have been measuring, okay? When we run our workflow, we also have a measurement process that will connect to the project itself and learn and extract some real good metrics that leadership cares about. Cycle time, PR rejection rate, meaning that when you send some new feature, somebody has to review that, and it can be declined, it can be accepted, but this process usually takes some time. It's a back and forth process, right? Onboarding speed for new developers, defect reduction. The common theme is lower cost per feature and faster time to market. That's what really matters here because we are making sure that we do more features per sprint, reducing the cost of the features, and that by the end of the day, by the end of the sprint, that is a faster time to market. So what I'm showing here, these are real results from teams that are moving to level two adoption, the AI accelerated process. So in this new process, as you can see, features are delivered much faster. We have had results coming from implementing some features, and that takes like 4 hours because you need to develop, you need to test, you need to send a PR. That PR can go back to the developer. There is a discussion between the technical people, and that usually was taking 4 hours. We have reduced that for about uh, 30 minutes per feature, right? PR rejection rate, we have reduced that pretty much from 40% in some projects to 5%. And that's not magic. That happens because if you have all the documentation generated by AI, by business people, and also by architects, by technical people, so the alignment is really happening. And that's why when you send a new PR, you send a new feature, we are enforcing that you are doing that in the correct way. So that's why we are dropping PR rejection so much because there are rules, there are patterns that we have to follow, and AI will enforce that. If you are, for example, in a CI/CD process, we are able to create a bot in the process, and that bot is gonna read the source code and understand if that source code is part of the architecture, if the design pattern is okay, if the coding quality is okay. So anyway, it's magic. It's really fantastic. I really love talking about it because we are changing the way we work with software development, right? And some other real metrics and good metrics here, like team velocity, right? We have had results delivering 8 features without AI and 35 features with AI. Dev onboarding, as I said before, when a new professional joins your team and you have no documentation, you have nothing, that person is going to take 2 weeks to understand what needs to be done. And his first, and the person first code commit can take much more than 2 weeks. But we have had results where we saw a developer onboarding happening in just 3 days. And also, um, the fact rate, right? Because if you have all the standards, all the documentation, all the guidelines, and AI is generating with rules, you're gonna have minimum defect rates here, right? Well, this is fantastic, really. We are also adopting DARA metrics. DARA stands for DevOps Research and Assessment. It defines some metrics that measure the software delivery performance and operational excellence. So this dashboard, as you can see here, shows 3 of these metrics. that we are using here are QAT, and that is a elite performance level. Okay, the first one is deployment frequency. We are deploying on demand with release happening daily to weeks. Okay, this indicates strong automation, mature CI, CD practices, and the ability to deliver value to customers without bottlenecks. The second metric is the lead time for changes. Our lead time of features is under 3 days, meaning that from code commit to production, those changes move extremely fast, right? This reflects this workflow, this streamlined workflow, low friction, in the approvals and high engineering responsiveness. So it is important also to mention that this lead time can vary depending on each company's internal policies and governance process, right? However, our engineering lead time from code commit to production remains strong and high efficient. And the third and last one is the change failure rate, right? How many times did you deploy something in production and that broke and business stopped? We are seeing at least 5%, um, which is a elite benchmark again. This means only a small percentage of deployments result in incidents or some manual remediation or something like that. We're moving fast, but we are also keeping quality in first place. Another key differentiator, and this slide highlights two of our key differentiator, is that we have a disciplined prioritization and a structured product validation. So first, this Moscow prioritization, we always focus on the 20% of the features that generate 80% of the value. So every requirement is clearly classified as a must have, should have, could have, and won't have. So before that moving to development, we prioritize that using AI as well, and we make sure that the features are 20% of the features are generating 80% of the value. Okay, so it protects timeline, control costs, and maximize ROI by delivering what truly matters first. And well, we also have a structured product validation, and that's somehow a decision gate, something like that. We perform a validation, a mood perspective review across four dimensions. That is, do customers genuinely want this? Can they use it effectively? Can we build it technically and sustain it? And the fourth question is, does it make business sense? So this 360-degree validation is going to reduce risk earlier and prevent those implementations that will not be used in production. As you know, there is a research by Gardner some years ago, and some other companies as well, saying that usually users, they only use between 20 to 30% of the features that were developed. So we are wasting 70, 80% of all the features because users are using 20, 30%. Well, I would like to show some before moving here to show you some real code execution. I would like to show you this architectural shift from manual execution to clear definition. So what you're seeing here is exactly how the workflow works, okay? Because we are investing people time upfront, explaining intent, rules, business rules, guardrails, governance, everything that needs to be done at this level. And for every product owner, you're gonna have one agent. So there is a pairing work, a two people working together, the product owner, the architect, the developers, everybody's gonna have or can use an agent to do their job, right? And what really changes here is how work gets executed because AI, as I said 2 or 3 times before, becomes a delivery accelerator, not a replacement for people. And the key message is very simple. AI will create real value when it moves from helping individuals to execution work at scale. This really shifts and we allow teams to deliver faster, right? So what we do here, we generate all the requirements up front, all the contacts. This is the agile AI-driven development process, the documentation, specs, all the quality gates, guardrails, and then we have a large language module running. This framework is really agnostic. If you want to use Anthropic, if you want to use Google, if you want to use Microsoft, it's okay because our agents will be used within this LLM. Okay. And that is a process where you can um, bring your own license. So if you already have GitHub Copilot, if already have Cloud Code running in your company, that's okay. We can use that LLM and we execute from the beginning to the end, right? And that is connected to your code repository where we have now generated code, documentation, test committed, everything automatically. Plus, we can also work with MCP servers. If you want to connect to an external database, if you want to connect it to any other platform that supports MCP protocol, that is also possible in the AI-driven development platform that we are building. I would like to thank you all so much for your time here. If you have any question, if you want to talk about Diamond AI, just send me an email and it's going to be a great pleasure to talk to you, to explain how it works, and also to see your application, your services, and help you to define a next step on this AI era, right? Thank you so much. Have a nice day, and I'll see you around.